looking at their next week matches, and Bun Bun's going to be facing Demons Raw. soondubu facing Weasel Little Bees, who just took a big win. So, it's not over yet, but both these teams absolutely want this win. It's going to be very awkward, very difficult situation. If they don't really want to end 4-5. There are so many situations where many teams end 5-4, which means if you're not 5-4, you're cooked. And so, obviously, whoever wins this is going to be getting a major boon in the playoffs race. That being said, here, soondubu and Bun Bun are looking at this Spark of Strength extra special start, and honestly, I really like special and extra special, all the damage that soondubu has right here.
Yeah, it was a huge lead very early in that point for Bun Bun Bonanza. They get both barriers early now, fighting, trying to get Scyther 12 out of the play so they can get this second barrier, but so far he's not quite going down. The secondary sends him the wrong way. Lilybun pushing in now with the DUBU wall and passes it up to Liari, so the first point here goes to Bun Bun Bonanza, and just right from the start they got those two barriers, and it was all wraps after that.
Yep, we're also very interestingly seeing 4 unique forward gears. This has been happening more often recently. Obviously, people figuring stuff out, but no Vambrace here, but all the other 4 forward gears showing up here, and the 2 Spark people, the Sparkers on deck, are going to be Liari and Breezy Breezy. They're going to be fighting for these Sparks here, and first point going. Both barriers fell for soondubu that last point immediately. Here, having a barrier now, they're looking like they're in a much more comfortable position. Breezy with the wand to heal, but taken down, staggered, and all of a sudden, like, Bun Bun, it seems like, has a lot of control in this early game.
Yeah, trying to get that core up to 3Z to use this flip, hopefully on that barrier, maybe on a kill on Scyther here, as they are going for it. Vice and Amy both, as we have an own barrier there and a KO, so things turning around. I think Vice and Amy are both high priority picks on this patch, and the fact soondubu was able to get both of them, I think will bear well for their chances here as they're setting up the offense, trying to get it, but Liari and Lilybun do a great job stalling that power play out. They get time for Scyther to come back in, who almost finds a KO. Lilybun still has the core flip as well. If things get dicey on defense, has to use it there. And shapeshifting now, trying to get the core up to 3Z. Uses the flip down to the bottom side, still not finding anything as Lilybun steps in. Liari covers the backside, but they're still not able to score either side, and Scyther might get KO'd again.
Could be seeing another KO. Scyther forced back to Orb, helping out on defense too a little bit, but that's a great pass from Grimella straight to 3Z. Gonna be putting it in 1 point on the board for the soondubu Strikers, and honestly, I think this game is going to it's a classic. We've got a damage comp on the screen. They are just playing to scale, set 3 hits, and hopefully they're going to be coming out full force. In the meantime, Bun Bun has so much more control and presence on the map with characters like Juno and Drakkar. Scyther being taken down here, going to be tough, but as long as Bun Bun can stay alive in these early sets, they can get these early sets and then try and close out the game quickly, not let soondubu get that scaling. In the meantime, though, any sort of opportunity afforded to soondubu is going to be nice. That is going to be the point, though, for Bun Bun right there. Scyther 12 jumping in and putting it in.
Yeah, a bit of a missed dribble there from Grimella, unfortunately, and Scyther just took it away, took it to the bottom side. So it is a 2-1 lead for Bun Bun Bonanza. And yeah, like you said, I think they are into this damage comp. Scyther does have the pumps, so when they go for those damage opportunities, he's really going to be trying to punish them. As Grimella, with a perfectly placed flip, gets both of them. They're going for the KO on Scyther again, and it just seems like the same story every single point. We're going to see if Scyther can do anything differently, get any awakenings to stay alive more, as Liari drops all the way back, is able to save that one, but Shape and Grimella, this is what we saw last week on this map too. With that Vice, Shape was able to put so much pressure on other teams, and 3Z just gets too many chances in the goal, eventually is going to win those, and we're all tied up, headed to a 5th point in this first set.
And yeah, 3Z was just getting every read on the Bun Bun defense there, able to cover every clear, get the hook at the end to seal the deal, and I 100% agree. I think Vice, the character, is looking like the best goalie on the patch right now. You have so much agency, you're able to get these big stuns that really force players into these uncomfortable situations, and you put out so much damage. That's the name of the patch here. 2 KOs on the board, and soondubu is doing a lot of damage here.
Yeah, 2 KOs, and now just the final push needed for soondubu to get this last one. 3Z goes in, doesn't quite find it that time, but the extra special turret, the KO found by 3Z, and that will be the first set going over to soondubu strikers. Early on, it did look like Bun Bun kind of had that advantage on the core control, but really those last few points, it was just all soondubu. They're able to take that. They'll have the advantage in these sets, or in this draft, rather.
Yeah, certainly, and that's really scary. You do not want to go down in the first 2 sets against a damage comp, or else you're going to be playing into Primetime Kazan, and we're looking at like Explosive or Super Surge Aimee. Going to be taking the Missile Prop from Jakar instead, going for a deny. You see Lilybun picking up size. That's really scary. The Kazan is always going to have a nice matchup into DUBU to just get around the DUBU, but big DUBU, that guy is still difficult to get through, and Scyther picking up Explosive Entrance, same damage as Heavy Impact without any of the CDR, but still 15% on impacts is super substantial. That could net some early KOs, some nice knockback KOs with the pummelers, and that's really exactly what they want. That's a big reason to pick this Drakkar character, because otherwise he's a big target for damage. We're seeing a lot of it come out, and Scyther really has a tough game on his hands here. Hashtag Brawler Patch.
Yeah, looking like it's last season, and he's running all the way to the gold box, duking it out with 3Z. Still able to stay alive for now, but really not putting that KO pressure, that knockback pressure that you do want on the pick. The ult, unfortunately, hits the core there instead of 3Z Breezy, so he's able to live. Once again, finds himself low on energy, low on stagger, and does go down. So it just seems like everything that soondubu would have wanted out of this comp is working so far. They have a lead here. We'll see if they can get this power play. Shapeshifting does use the core flip. Somehow the core doesn't go in, but they do find another KO. They get it down to 3Z Breezy, and it's another point for the soondubu strikers.
Yeah, taking this early lead here, which again is not what you want to play into. Not the damage comp here, not at all, but here they are, and they're starting to they're getting the KOs left and right. I mean, they've KO'd Lilybun a couple times, who has pauldrons, which is really just so difficult. It's like, I don't know, soondubu is in such a comfortable spot here. So see a little bit of shenanigans on the Thunderstruck from Shapeshifting, but really, Bun Bun needs to find some way to stay alive right here. A little bit of focus, or a little bit of a nice barrier from Scyther, and suddenly Bun Bun has the advantage at this point.
Yeah, they have the goal open, and this is what the DUBU needs. I think if you're able to keep your team alive, DUBU is so strong at holding down the goal like we saw in that last series, but if your teammates are dead all the time, eventually they'll just come for you. But right now, still staying alive, and Scyther wins that. Grumella with the dash is just a little bit too late, so maybe a second wind here for the Bun Bun Bonanza as they do find a point there. We'll see if they can keep staying alive, keep allowing Lilybun to push up and help on the offense, and we'll see what they can do. But still tied 1-1, and still all that damage pressure from soondubu strikers.
Yeah, every KO that soondubu gets is going to be super impactful. It's going to be really dangerous. It's forcing Bun Bun to play. They're getting space, is the other thing. Bun Bun's getting a lot of space, which is not allowing soondubu to play the damage the way they want to. And with that KO, it's going to mean that barrier's open, but the soondubu defense here holding on strong, and power play over. Scyther looking low. When there's a will, there's a way, and soondubu did not get it there. And Bun Bun, hey, going 2-1 in this set here. They are starting to deny the damage comp here, and claiming this set would be very, very nice for them.
Yeah, just a complete turnaround of what we saw right before that. And, you know, as soon as Scyther is able to find those knockback KOs, it all turns around, and it was great coverage on the goal there by Bun Bun. But it is Scyther going down like we've seen the entire game. Drakkar just so susceptible to that extended damage and does go down. Shape now going in, trying to help the offense, but Lilybun is able to win all those interactions. Still keep both barriers up now. Core gets past Grumella, so they'll lose one, and Scyther's back in, has all the cooldowns, and that shotgun just so difficult to beat on the goal line like that. Uses everything, does get the goal open, but now the core is sent back to 3Z Breezy. We'll see if he can convert on this. Scyther not really taking too much damage, and it seems like Bun Bun, what they want to do has been happening a lot more these last couple points.
Yeah, absolutely. Scyther is still low, and flip burned by Liari means that the barriers are going to be saved. 3 flips, though, coming out from soondubu strikers. A catastrophe, as none of them really had a significant impact, and Scyther still low on the board, still there. But a big stun from Liari means that that's going to be the set settled, and Bun Bun is really starting to ramp up here. getting their set on the board. Scyther with the MVP going in, and this could be really bad for soondubu.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Liari did not win that draft, so that third spark there is probably going to have to be denied by Vice here, although Vice would love to take Twin Drive. So that's going to be a little bit sad for soondubu, the fact that they do have to deny that. The Deadeye will go over to Liari instead, so a little bit more damage and also the core speed. Grimella getting that team player, I think, will also help in those power plays that they've been creating. And then 3Z once again deciding not to go for the size, instead now has the Twin Drive and the Prime Time, so a ton of cooldowns, but did pass up on size both of those times. But Lilybun getting that Might of the Colossus, 160 power now.
Yeah, Jeepers as a powerful DUBU, massive DUBU, and that could be a lot of damage landing onto any, like specifically 3Z here on the Kazan. That being said, Scyther and Grimella taken down right there, and we got a humble 2v2, but neither team really getting much off of it there, and suddenly a ton of damage landing onto Lilybun. Has the Pauldron's not going to be too significant, but so it's looking like Grimella's the big target of Scyther's damage, and really forced to play, is getting forced into these situations where he can't be super helpful, and if he's not getting the ball to 3Z, then it lands on Shape, who has to, you know, defend the net, and all of a sudden things get really, really rough for soondubu.
Yeah, the one spot where he can help while not necessarily being there is that extra special that he has, you know, getting the Firewall sentries in there. They do find the KO here. Firewall sentry is in position, and then the KO found on Lilybun as well. As soon as it goes down, the DUBU is the next target. Now, Liari trying to stall this out, has a lot of cooldowns, a lot of core speed as well, although the KO found by shapeshifting. Scyther comes back, though, and gets a KO in the goal box, so somehow Bun Bun Bonanza are able to keep that alive. We'll see if they can get this barrier down and potentially score, as Lilybun with the Tofu Fortress does get it to the other side. Nothing found quite yet. Good defense by shapeshifting, but this point shouldn't even still be going right now.
Yeah, 1,000 KOs for soondubu. We saw Scyther get an Adrenaline Rush proc, and still just neither of them netted much of anything. Bun Bun's barriers are open. soondubu has the opportunity, but they're just struggling to get an offense going. This is set 3. This is when they should be starting to really come fully online, but you know, until they get a KO, until they get anything, it's looking like Bun Bun has a lot of control here and is just not able to get anything. That's another Adrenaline Rush proc. Scyther 12 just steadfast with these KOs coming out left and right. Liari looking low as well, but might not get KO'd. Shape is still able to hold on though in spite of all of this. The flips dropped, the barrier down, and now it's soondubu's ball to have, but they just can't get it through.
Yeah, Scyther trying to set up the play, missed the Molten Bolt just a little bit, and Lilybun getting all the way active, rolling all the way in. Liari having to play goalie behind, does keep it alive, but Scyther 12 goes down once again, and we are still on the first point of this set. Just so many KOs, so much back and forth. We'll see if Lilybun goes down to that ultimate, and she does, so Liari gonna have to make something magic happen again, but not that time. 3Z with the hook sends it backwards. And yeah, you were talking in the middle there about the draft a little bit. I think part of it is that soondubu really hasn't got any more damage. They had to do some denying of the spark there. They got more cooldowns and more core speed, but they really just wanted to stack more damage, and they haven't really had a chance to do that. So it's let Bun Bun Bonanza kind of extend these points probably more than they should have. And Scyther is finding a lot more KO pressure as well.
Yeah, certainly. Winning that second set really netted Bun Bun a nice spot in this game where they don't have to. They forced soondubu to deny all those awakenings, and now they're left with not a whole lot. And so they, of course, there will be another draft. So whatever happens going forward, soondubu still has opportunities to get a lot of scaling, get those damage awakenings on the board. And they're doing plenty of damage to Scyther. They're having some trouble sealing the deal, but Scyther almost getting a KO, but 3Z Breezy just not letting that happen, able to get that KO. And without Scyther, things are looking really tough. That's both barriers, and all of a sudden, soondubu's battle formation fully online. They get everything that they need pushing forward, but now it's another KO on Scyther. Oh my.
Yep, the core gets around them. They're able to stall it for just a little bit. Grimella sends it down, and 3Z hooks it back to the top. Great execution that time. been a little bit of a struggle to convert these goals at times for soondubu, but they are still finding the KOs just as much as before, and they are able to convert eventually on these last 2 points. As difficult as it has been, you see that core speed when the Deadeye is procced from Liari, able to get that first barrier immediately, and somehow the turret was going backwards there. So the second barrier found as well, and Grimella at risk of getting KO'd by Scyther. It doesn't quite go, and that'll mean no ad rush proc, able to stay on the board. Gonna try to get this orb as well, but the core gets around to end everyone. Liari with the core speed is able to get it to the bottom side, shape-shifting. No cooldowns left, and that will be a point for Bun Bun Bonanza to extend this set.
Yep, 1 point on the board, 2 more, and they can pull ahead in this game. And right now, they with how the set's been going, they would really like it. The KOs are being found on the Scyther. soondubu has figured out exactly what they want. Just getting Scyther out of position, out of the game. And then they keep getting both barriers in these power plays. Now they've been really struggling to seal it out here, but this is exactly what soondubu is looking for. They're able to get the power plays and then get the barriers. Just one more step and they can claim this next set and get first pick in the draft.
Yeah, the Firewall Sentry sends it up to the top corner. 3Z not quite able to get there to convert it, but trying to find this KO on Scyther. It'll be Shape with the flip instead that does it. And we'll see if he has cooldowns to help the offense here. Liari, like she's done so many times this game, trying to stall this out in the midfield and is able to get it around Grimella for a moment, so they do stall it back. Scyther coming back onto the board now, but as the Tofu Fortress goes out, a well-placed strike to the bottom finds it. And that'll be soondubu keeping the lead that they had in that first set and up 2-1 in this game. Just one more set to find and potentially more damage in this draft.
Yeah, some meticulous measures coming out from soondubu strikers there. And top pick going to shapeshifting. That's the guy that you want to be first pick in your draft. Getting the specialized vice, that's just such a strong pick. It's you either evade tax or you win the point. And so when you have an awakening that can just win points, that's a nice pick. That being said, we are seeing 1-2 punch go to Lilybun, denying 3Z here and just getting a lot of core speed from the net. It's going to be nice. 3Z getting a stagger awakening. Another spark. Third spark picked up for Liari. That's pretty scary, sharing the strength and speed with everyone else. And I'm still looking at the specialized. I think that can really change the game. I mean, look at that. Look at that. The game is completely different for soondubu, I think, and so that is a third spark on Liari here, but really just every once in a while, Shape is going to show up and devastate nations. Like, this is so big for them.
Yeah, and Liari with no evade at the moment, so as soon as that's up, gonna try to use it on Scyther there, will force out the flip, and the core gets past Liari and Lilybun, so the goal will get open as they continue to put the pressure on Scyther. These Firewall Sentries as well. Amy doing so much work and just forcing the members of Bun Bun into the spots where they're going to be taking damage. Although Grimella has to use the flip here and is almost staggered himself. A lot of pressure being put on, but Shape and 3Z both have flips. They're pushing in, closing the doors here on Lilybun, and instead using the flip to take out Scyther 12, going for the KO on Lilybun as well. Liari low, just so much pressure on them, and it feels so difficult for them to get any kind of offense going unless soondubu really messes up on these barriers. It's so hard for Bun Bun to have any momentum in these points, and right now Shape and Grimella are still holding it down.
Yeah, we saw Bun Bun with a really nice corner recovery there, able to keep it out. And doing it again right here, but Shape walking up, threatening to hit the core, but ejecting back. Grimella staggered, is in a difficult spot. 3Z in prime position right here, you know, looking for an opportunity. That's going to be another big supernova out of shapeshifting. Not getting a whole ton of value, but still getting some evades, forcing some awkward positioning, and here another turret. This is the opportunity that soondubu's been looking for. Looking for that final push, but just can't find it, and that's a barrier down. Bun Bun now have an opportunity, and the Slime's going to be sending it right in. That's going to be 1 point for Bun Bun, and 2 more. They tie up the game.
Yeah, and I mean, Spark of Leadership has definitely not been what it once was, but still 3 sparks, the 159 power now for Liari, and the Deadeye as well when the core is far away. It's a lot of pressure to put on shapeshifting, and Vice's abilities are notoriously pretty slow, so it's a lot of pressure being put on here, but it's hard to do it all yourself. And Scyther, just so much pressure being put on that it usually is Liari all on herself on the offense, but she's doing it all right now. Dribble to herself, is able to get that second barrier. Lilybun in the midfield as well, getting some pressure put on her, staying alive for now, but has a flip. Grimella dribbles it, tries to get it to 3Z, but the interaction is won. But both goals open. That is a spot that Bun Bun Bonanza hasn't found themselves in a lot, but the specialized trading, so much core speed for shapeshifting, and it goes right in between the two members of Bun Bun Bonanza.
Yeah, just sending that thing fast and furious right through Bun Bun, and like, again, specialized training is just so valuable on Vice, able to get so much work done. And here, another one coming. I mean, like, that did half of Liari's health, forced to get this orb. Scyther 12 down, and like, it keeps coming in. And Lilybun also taken low, and soondubu is just looking so comfortable here. This is exactly what they want. And if they can get another KO this point, which they might need when the second barrier goes down, that would be a huge, huge boon for them.
Yeah, and this Firewall Sentry, Grimella coming in with the flip as well. Tail held high, but not quite finding it. The flip is answered, so the barrier will stay open for now. And Liari has found so many of these solo plays on the barriers. Found one on the goal before as well. She'll try to do that again. Going to need the core speed as Scyther once again having to run back for that orb. Play a little bit of goalie like he did last season. They keep it alive for now, and we're nearing overtime when maybe that Juno core speed will just be a little bit too much for shapeshifting to handle. But for now, he's pushing in with the flip. He gets the goal open, and Lilybun gonna have to deal with this Firewall Sentry once again. The core speed from Liari trying to set up Scyther, but eventually gets it with the lock and load, and just 1 point away from sending this to a set 5.
Yeah, just going twin turbo mode, kicking into maximum overdrive. Big strike shotgun, but like 1 point away. They are making it happen. Both teams have the tools that they need to win this game. Both teams are accomplishing what they need, and they are going back and forth here. soondubu just needs to get these KOs, get this damage out, and Bun Bun has enough core control. They have enough threat on the barriers to just show up, get the barriers, and mow down the defense that soondubu has. And so, as long as Scyther 12 is alive, Bun Bun is in a super comfortable position. That being said, Scyther 12 looking a little worse for wear, struggling to get anything done. That's barriers down, but that's going to be Scyther down, and now soondubu has to capitalize on this power play if they want to keep this set going.
Yeah, it's going to be a heavy task for Lilybun to hold us down, but the Tofu Fortress will do a great job at stalling that out, and Ricard is back on the field. We'll see what Scyther 12 can do as takes the speed gate, charging in, but not quite finding anything left. Liari with the dribbles, and we near overtime, and once again, the threat of that core speed is ever present from Liari with this 160 power. The core flip used by shapeshifting, but not finding much, as Scyther once again gonna have to push all the way back. And it seems like the pattern has been that when Lily is able to step up, never mind what I was saying, Liari once again with the core speed just finds it into the middle. These miraculous goals over and over again, and we are headed to a set 5.
Yeah, just some prudent positioning on the slimes out of Liari, sending it right there to cut the pass, but able to catch shapeshifting's clear, send it into the slime, send it so fast, and getting rewarded with hot shot here too. Even more core speed, could also take bulk up, but just slamming the hot shot. That is heavy impact onto shapeshifting though. That's a huge swing. That is so much more damage. Lilybun going for some stagger, just trying to stay alive. Prize fighter, just more. soondubu just got 3 damage awakenings here, and that's what they need to win this game. That's going to be massive. If Grimella can hold on to this prize fighter stack it up, then that could be it. If they get going, that could just be the end of the game. Scyther 12 realizing that, going for Grimella's life immediately, but now Scyther is looking low. He's getting hunted down by 3Z, and all of a sudden, yeah, we did see a lot of big pickups from Bun, but I don't... 3 damage awakenings on soondubu. That's what they need to win this game. That's exactly what they wanted. I can't believe that didn't get the barrier. Oh my god, great defense from Bun, and it's all down to this. This is it.
And the core speed from Liari, it just beats the Vice abilities every single time because of how slow they are and how overwhelming it is. And the damage as well from Liari, not something we've exactly seen, but it sets Scyther 12 up for that point with the KO on 3Z. And yeah, we talked about in that second set, like Bun Bun was able to win it, and it felt like because soondubu didn't get any damage, that kind of let them back into the game. Well, all the damage showed up here, and soondubu got all of it. But in the meantime, Liari has been able to create such a crazy build to defeat the weaker defense of the Vice, that they've been able to steal so many of these points away, and they just need 2 more, as Scyther right now is staying alive. Both barriers on each side are going to go down, so we're going to have an open goal, but the core speed of this Juno is going to be so much of a threat when that open goal scenario happens.
Yeah, there we see in specialized training not get much value, getting some evades, but their Scyther 12 is down. The slime almost puts it in, sends it so fast, and we're not even in overtime yet. But Shape getting in there, forcing the flip out. 3Z trying to get something done, just not able to yet. And here, forcing, just trying to get the goal. They had a good offense, but defended away by Bun alone. And now Scyther 12 is back. And as long as he's on the field, things are just so dangerous for soondubu. Like, one strike shotgun can get through most of what Vice's defensive tools are. They have the turret, they have this offensive push, but they're just not able to seal it out. And in the meantime, getting more damage onto Scyther, but he is so fast, having to play escape artist here, getting these orbs and just doing well. He is doing it. He is staying alive, and that is the lose condition for soondubu strikers.
Yeah, and Bun with 211 power and 1-2 punches, also red coring on every single strike here in overtime. So it's so much pressure on the defense if they're not able to score before overtime. And it's Liari winning a strike war right in front of the goal, sending it to a spot where no one could cover. And somehow, with all the KOs, with all the damage that soondubu has found, it's just 1 point away from Bun Bun taking this first map.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the rest of the set is going to shake out here, as Bun Bun's just kind of shaking soondubu down. That's going to be a prize fighter dropped from Grimella, another Adrenaline Rush proc, and this is a big opportunity for Bun Bun. Every single KO that they find is so valuable. I feel like all 3 members of soondubu need to be on the field to get anything done, and when they're not, it's just so difficult. That's both barriers. Bun Bun has the opportunity to seal out this game here. soondubu needs a little bit of a miracle if they want to stay alive here.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do with the corner. The core speed trying to set it up to Scyther, who has his abilities, the lock and load, not quite finding it, but the wall will keep it on this side. Now trying to get it to Scyther, who's taking a lot of damage. Bun using the flip, trying to make the goal happen herself. All of soondubu having to fall back and play defense, and Scyther going back, getting the orbs with that replicator. But Liari is just able to hover around Shape and make every clear. So scary for him here. Nothing found yet, but Liari does have that flip. Has to use it on defense in the corner here and doesn't quite get it out. But it's Scyther dribbling to himself, finding it past the Vice secondary. And what seemed like a certain victory for soondubu with the awakenings, with the scaling they had, ends up turning into a Bun Bun Bonanza win.
Yeah, soondubu had all the tools that they needed to get the job done, but I think Liari's build just spiraled out of control so quickly. 3 sparks, hot shot, so much power, and just completely devastated soondubu's defense. They were just not able to hold on there against the core speed, and sometimes that just happens. That's just how it goes. One player is able to get a build strong enough to just counterplay everything that the enemy team's putting up. There we saw it, and that's going to be game 1 going to Bun Bun Bonanza. I'm desperately looking to see what the next map is going to be, and I'm just not finding it, but I believe Night Market was soondubu's map pick. Unclear, but that's what I'm locking in.
Yeah. So, I mean, we saw there, Bun was able to hold it on in those sets when they were really getting KO'd, but eventually Scyther had 2 Dash Awakenings there and Orb Replicator, and in those last, I mean, he found a lot of the goals, but in those last couple sets, a lot of his job was just hitting that secondary button, running around, finding the orbs, and then coming back for a lock and load once his cooldowns were back up, and that was enough with what Liari and Bun were able to do on defense with all the core speed they had, with the cooldowns that they had. Yeah, that was just, a tale of 2 comps as we saw going into the game. But just a crazy way for that to turn out, and the builds that ended up happening. But our second map here, we did get word from Prod. It will be at Lab, and then if we go to a third, it'll be Demon Deus. But yeah, at Lab going to be another map where KOs and damage are very heavily prevalent. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, gonna have to see how it goes down. I like looking back on that last game again. I was expecting that I'm a big believer in damage this patch. Big shocker. A lot of people are. It's looking good, but we saw there that the damage was just not enough to overcome what Bun Bun was putting up. Again, super core speed midfielder and Scyther on the Drakkar. You have a very simple job. You kill people, you strike shotgun into the net. And like you said, that's what he was doing. He showed up, he did it. All he needed to do, did it phenomenally, and that won them the game right there. As long as he was alive, even for a little bit, just able to rush in there, send it into the net, boom. Another point on the board. And so I wonder how soondubu is going to respond to that, because like it would feel terrible to sit here and say we need to ban Drakkar. Like, I don't know if you maybe that's the answer, but it's hard for me to say banning Drakkar is how we win this game,
Yeah, because in that draft you were able to get Vice and Amy, which I think is exactly what you want, especially on an extra special start. But yeah, where there's a will, there's a way, and Scyther 12 was able to make it happen on the Drakkar despite getting KO'd the entire game. So yeah, as we get into this next map in the draft pretty soon here, I'm interested in if we see Bun Bun continue to go for more of a core speed, core control kind of a plan, or if they ramp back up into doing damage like we've seen, especially last week.
Yeah, certainly. I am super duper stoked for this next match. It could go either way. Like again, I was pretty on the soondubu train looking at their damage, but Bun Bun was just able to hold on. They were ready, did not let it go through, and boom, that's a game win. So we're gonna have to see if they can seal it out in 2, or like on paper, I think Demon Days is a weird map for them. And I think that it kind of depends on if Scyther 12 just goes like Drakkar and blasts them 5 million KOs, that kind of thing. Or if they're just gonna like it's hard to know their game plan, because Demon Days is the damage map, the quintessential damage map. That is where you do all the damage, and Bun Bun is just not much of a damage team. They are, again, they just locked DUBU, Juno, Drakkar. Drakkar is the closest thing to damage on that team, and he had pummelers and was just knockback KOing people. So, yeah, they could be able to shake it out here, stick to the core control, and win. Or maybe it's a soondubu sweep and they show up and just a 5 million K. We'll have to see. I would love to see a game 3. Playoffs, not on the line, but playoffs positions really on the line. How much work they have to do in this last week, how comfortable they're allowed to be, all comes down to this. Whoever wins this is going to have a massive benefit in the playoffs race. And so they both want to win it. If we go to game 3, Cinema going all the way, end the day on a dramatic set. In the meantime, though, it looks like we're getting into draft on a 1-2 punch start on Demon Day. I have a tiny brain. We're going to AtLab. Similar thing. Very similar thing. Sorry.
Yeah, not quite into
Wow.
Demon Days yet, but
I'm ready. I'm there.
Yeah, we're steadfast into game 2 instead here on AtLab, and it will be the Finny picked first for Bun Bun Bonanza, going to be Lily Bun, presumably, on that pick here. And, a pick that really kind of dictates your comp of they are going to be playing at least more damage than they did last time. That Finny, as soon as you put the secondary on someone, you all aim your sights, you put your sniper scope on them, and you take them down. So that will be interesting, as far as they're going to be playing a very different play style than last game, presumably. But it is Kazan and it is Amy going to soondubu again. 2 picks that they had in the last game and looked very strong at times. They had a lead in that game. But we'll see how this continues to go and what Bun Bun does go for to round out this comp. It could really be anything. It could be more damage, it could be more core control, but that Juno is gone.
Yep. Just 1-2 punch start. We're not doing more core speed. Get that out of this game right here. That does mean that the Finny will go through, Lily Bun getting the Finny, and I feel like she just always performs phenomenally on the character. So I don't remember if it was banned last game, but I want to say that it was. I'll just pretend. I'll just lie, and things will be great. But soondubu just running back the same comp. They got the Vice, Aimee, Kazan, letting it rip. Scyther 12 getting the Rasmus, though, and Luna midfield to round off the Bun Bun comp. Like you said, very different thing that they were doing compared to last game, shifting into new gear, but definitely looking good. I always love Luna on 1-2 punch start, and I think they have a lot of the tools that they need to keep up in damage, which they didn't really need to do last game, but we're still pretty comfortable in that damage race. Now they can contest it, and they still have all this core control. It's looking great for Bun Bun here. Again, though, Atlab a little bit more conducive to damage than Night Market, which is definitely like a get those knockback KOs. The Drakkar City, but we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, and that Rasmus has not been a pick that you see quite as much in this, in the last patch and then this kind of B patch as well. But I think into something like a Vice Aimee that they just played against, and on Atlab especially, it is so hard to defend. And Scyther has played that pick for a long, long time, has destroyed some goalies on it in the past. And if he's able to stay alive enough this game, I think it'll be so difficult for soondubu to defend against that Rasmus with the 1-2 punch here, presumably. But it will be, once again, I think all sights kind of aimed on him. And we'll see if he can stay alive enough to have that kind of offensive impact. But I am, interested in that pick, in what he's able to do. And like you pointed out in the last game, we had 4 different forward awakenings, or forward gears, rather, represented from the 4 forwards. I'm interested in what we see this time as well, because just a lot of decisions always to be made. I think the Lunas have mostly been playing Pums, but the way that Liari plays, I could definitely also see slick kicks or even mags, which he went last game as well. But yeah, I'm interested. It'll definitely be a different game, but there's a lot of decisions to be made still as we almost load in here on all of the gears as well, and the awakenings, of course, too.
Yeah, just with how uncertain this new patch is, and how many things that you can do, every even down to gear choice is just so, everything has to be so perfect. You have to understand what you're doing, and I feel like you can make so many decisions. You can show up and, like Bun Bun again last game said, I'm gonna play core control. And then they showed up and did. And that's not a decision a lot of people are making. They were able to win through there. But looking at this game, we see 2 slick kicks, Liari on the mags also, full speed gears coming out from Bun Bun. 3Z on the wand Kazan once again. And when you have 4 abilities, it's gonna be looking great. Just showing up here. I think if soondubu again can get the damage going, not have to deny a ton of awakenings early on, then they should be advantaged here. But in the meantime, Bun Bun should have a pretty comfortable control throughout the whole game, and just look good. They have the barrier open, like they have the tools to win early. So that's what should be happening here.
Yeah, and even though it's a very different pick for Lilybun, still kind of doing the same thing as last game, as Scyther just gets shot in the head over and over in the backline, but Lilybun moving all the way up with the momentum boots this time instead of the pauldrons, and trying to make it happen. They do get the goal open, but now open on both sides, and it does get hit away from the big finish there. Still staying alive for now, and Scyther is almost back to put some pressure onto shapeshifting, but he does have the core flip, going to try to make it happen offensively. A good clear from Lilybun, but Scyther dribbles it a little bit too close to 3Z. That prime time just always a hook up, and is able to send it to the top side right there.
Yeah, like, would you rather have 1 hook or 2 hooks? 2 hooks is so strong. Primetime Kazan is such a threat on the net, and really, well, we're seeing it here. That's his main scoring tool. Today I'm going to hook, and then I'm going to strike. Maybe I will strike before the hook, but there will be a strike coming after anyway, and that's such a nice thing to have, having 2 hooks. We're seeing, though, a lot of damage just in general, but Lilybun staggered, KO'd, the net open, and 3Z Breezy's life being threatened right here by Liari's positioning, but still alive, still going strong, is able to unstagger, get both barriers. Lilybun's not back yet, and here comes the flip. Grimella prepared for a pass, but just not. 3Z not able to secure it right there. Lilybun back, and now we've got Bun Bun on the offense, and that's pretty scary.
Yeah, heroic play by Liari keeps the point alive, although she's finding herself damaged, pushed into the corner here, but Grimella not quite finding it. Doesn't have the 1-2 punch, doesn't have the wand either, and off of Shapeshifting's ultimate there, it just goes right to Scyther, who puts it into the bottom side. So kind of the same story as last time, you know, Liari and Scyther getting damaged the whole time. A lot of power plays found for soondubu, but somehow they're able to keep it alive for long enough, and they find a point there to tie it up here.
Yeah, Scyther just in that corner, able to strike it and secure it with the pendulum swing, but it was swinging Maestrom on this character, and this slam dunk, that's another 2 barriers. Bun Bun is really just surging here. They've got, again, they have everything that they need to win early, kind of secure the game. It's all about if soondubu can come back and just explode with the damage that they want to play to.
Yeah, Scyther sending it to the top. 3Z as well, looking for those hooks, looking for a score, but not quite finding it now. The middle popped, trying to get it to Scyther, who has that goal, and it's going to be, who has that flip rather, and it's going to be difficult for Shape to defend it, and it is Scyther who just dribbles it right to the front, is able to punish the weak defense of that Vice, and kind of the same story as last game so far. It's Scyther and Liari just making a lot of heroic plays happen as they survive the damage or don't survive, but are able to still keep the point going long enough for those opportunities to happen. And a lot of pressure here early. The first barrier found by soondubu, but it is 3Z having to use his flip, although finding Lilybun's right back, so both of them going to be with no energy.
Yeah, no energy, and Lilybun really, in this situation, definitely for the worse, getting staggered. The 3Z looking to secure the KO, getting orbs. All orbs denied for Lilybun, and that's going to be Lilybun still in the field, still alive, looking to fight back. Scyther also coming to assist, but not able to get it just yet. And in the meantime, Liari making a huge play, getting that second barrier. Lilybun taken down, but now they need to capitalize on this power play, because otherwise it might just be incredibly difficult, and that's another KO for Bun Bun. That is not where soondubu wants to be, as they need to put it in right here, or else things are going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, it was another power play, but that's been the preferred position for Bun Bun here, as they've found so many of the anti-power play barriers and goals. 3Z just missing into the corner there, so it'll stay alive. Scyther not looking long for this world, but Lily with the forward card is able to keep it alive, but Grimella finds the right spot in the bottom of the goal. So we will be headed, just like last game in our first set, to a 0.5 here.
Yeah, Grimella able to receive the core, put it in very carefully, and we need to see more of those out of soondubu. These passing plays to synergize offense, or else things are going to be really tough. I feel like they've been kind of scattered around trying to get a lot of damage on and trying to hold, and it's just not working out super well. Their synergy is just kind of exploding in both nets. Whoa, the net open! And it's just so scary for soondubu here. Bun Bun just has everything. Again, they have so many tools to just put it in right there, and Bun Bun sweeping that first, not sweeping, but securing that first set very, very carefully. That's going to be Scyther 12 on the MVP.
Yeah, Scyther dodging dangers that entire set, but is able to find himself an MVP because of some of those plays he made to find the goals, to find a few return KOs at times. Going to be taking the aerials here, interestingly. There's not a lot that's great, I think, for Rasmus here, but you could have gone for Might of the Colossus with a lot of size in future drafts, but instead going for the speed on aerials to try to stay alive a little bit more. Timeless Creator going over to Grimella will try to set up more of those kind of checkmate scenarios. But not a lot found otherwise. The hot shot for Vice is going to be a lot as well. And then 3Z for the second game in a row, having Primetime and Stinger is going to be a lot of damage output.
Yeah, these top spins and maddening descents, remember the term, are going to be devastating as Scyther 12 taken down immediately. I also really like this hot shot pick for shapeshifting. That's a ton of more CDs means more damage. You know, use the power cord on the core, get your CDs back, chain lightning everyone else. Like, it's such a great awakening on the character, and already just soondubu cleaning up that first point, kind of catching a second wind here as they are not looking to give up another set right now.
Yeah, and as much as we've talked about in both of these games, their comps being, more damage focused, 3Z that time just a little bit of twin turbo with both primaries from the Primetime, was able to hook it twice and set up that goal for himself. So it doesn't always have to be the damage, but this time it is Liari getting staggered once again. The rocket misses, but is able to still get the strike to keep that barrier up. But so many abilities going on to Liari, not able to stay alive that time. Shape-shifting now, didn't take the eject button back, and now it's Scyther going for it all, trying to find it. The hook almost gets it to himself, but it won't be enough. The big finish doesn't quite alter the path of the core enough, and 3Z is able to find that second goal. Pretty quick fashion here for soondubu to get those 2 goals, and they're just 1 point away from evening this up.
Yeah, Bun looking to show off a big PhD professor of curvature on the big finish. It's such a weird ability with how it spins, and just not able to find it right there. Barely 3Z able to outplay it and get the core in. And now Bun down, degree dead in the water, and this is soondubu only got 1 damage awakening, but they're getting these KOs. They're getting a ton of value out of every single power play. All of a sudden, they figured out exactly what they need, and I think the stinger on 3Z is really making all the difference. As different situation, Grumella taken down, and 3Z really low, Scyther also really low, but soondubu still have this barrier, and they still have opportunities to maintain this lead.
Yeah, and 3Z trying to stay alive, but it's not quite enough, and the passing plays from Liari and Scyther set up that barrier take. Now just going to have to convert on a power play of their own, but they did use a lot of cooldowns to get that KO, but the dash comes back up. Liari is able to cover what Scyther wasn't in the corner there, and we do get a response here from Bun Bun, but like you said, I think that stinger is putting in so much work, and the KOs are coming so much quicker for soondubu here.
Yeah, and that really is the nice nature of this Luna pick, is that you have this dash, you can cover anything at any moment. You know, and Liari just having a watchful eye, able to catch that clear, able to send it in the top corner, and dashing in the corner again, taking a ton of damage, but getting both barriers. Bun Bun is looking to come back in this set, not ready to give it up.
Yeah, and Shape, the one who might find himself KO'd, a good evade that time, will survive the attack from Scyther, and it's Liari just hanging out in the middle, popping the middle, but not quite dying, but now does get put down in the corner. Shape is able to get it out of the big finish there, just barely with the power cord, so they will keep it alive for now. But Bun doing some great dribbling, stalling this out, and Liari is back on the field with those cooldowns, with a lot of pressure being put on Shape, who does take some damage. And the stun from Scyther, I don't know if it would have saved in the corner, but either way, the goal is found, and just 1 point away now from Bun Bun reverse sweeping this and taking a commanding 2-0 lead as soondubu tries to tie this game up.
Yeah, soondubu really wants to win this set. Again, like last game, getting early sets, getting the first 2 sets at all is such a nice position to be as the damage comp. You win a draft, you win an early draft, you get the scaling going. You know, if Bun Bun wins this set, that is kind of expected for what soondubu's game plan is, but definitely not where you want to be. That being said, KO found onto Scyther, and this is the power play that soondubu's looking for. They just need to capitalize on it, and with Bun looking low, they're getting a ton of extra damage, getting another KO, getting the barrier, getting an ace, and now Scyther on the breakaway, looking to get the barrier, looking to seal this set out, and he does! Oh my god, playtime is over for the soondubu Strikers. Bun Bun take a second set right now.
That was exactly what needed to go wrong, went wrong, unfortunately, for soondubu Strikers there. As right as the middle spawned, the core was around there. It got away from Shape and Grumella, who both didn't have a dash to go back. And Scyther, with that aerials pick that he got last time, had enough speed to run that core down and completely steal that set away. So it'll be a 2-0 lead. And that'll mean missile prop goes to Luna here. Although the way that this draft worked out, it's bulk up and it's heavy impact and it's explosive entrance all going to soondubu, kind of like what we saw in the last game. They still get so much damage here.
Yeah, a bulk up to help 3Z stay alive. Also damage, they got 3 damage awakenings. That's going to be massive. That's going to be exactly what they need. No barriers though, and right now Bun Bun just looking to run them over, and it's been working all series. It's been exactly what they need. They have enough core control to just run down the defense, and you know, if they're able to get another opportunity, things could be bad. In the meantime, soondubu looking for some damage onto Scyther, but just not able to get it, and things are looking really dire for them.
Yeah, the whole series, just meticulous measures from Scyther to stay alive. but the strike from shapeshifting, I think he thought that was going to be hooked by Scyther, but Scyther just barely missed it. I think not intentionally, but he missed the hook, so it kind of mixed up shapeshifting there, and it's the first point going over to Bun Bun here. Just so much momentum for them here, and we'll see what soondubu can do to try to get it back, to try to, you know, have that damage win condition be there. And they did, like we said, they did still find a lot of awakenings to make that happen in this last draft.
Yeah, it all comes down to if it's enough, and right now Gromella taking a ton of damage, almost getting knocked out. Scyther getting dumped right now, is sitting in the corner and gets KO'd, but now this is soondubu's chance. They were capitalizing on the power plays in the set that they won, and they're doing it right here. They just need to get it in, but 3Z is taken down. Gromella is also looking low, still staggered, gets unstaggered, but they just need to get it in. They've been getting the barriers in the power play, but then they aren't able to secure these points, and now 3Z's back, but it's still, like, Gromella's low, and it's still just not where they want to be. This is not a comfortable spot for them.
Through all of though, somehow Gromella was able to stay alive and ends up setting up the goal. Shape-shifting sets him up, rather, for the goal, and it gets down to him, so they're able to tie that. If they can get this set, it'll be a lot of momentum, and there's a lot more damage to be found in those drafts, and I think they could find more scaling, maybe, than there might still be on the board for Bun Bun, but just 2 points away from them taking this 3-0, so it's a lot of pressure on both teams to find the game in this set, or find this set, rather, and potentially the game for Bun Bun.
Yeah, and again, with playoffs positioning in contention here, Bun Bun definitely want to win this, get a nice, comfortable spot right here, and soondubu also, both teams vying for the same thing, just a little bit of comfort, a sigh of relief, a cushion to sit on. And right now, Bun Bun showing up, really want that, but 3Z Breezy getting a ton of stagger, putting Lily Bun in a difficult spot, able to get that right there, send in the bottom corner. That's what they need. 1 point away from winning the set, getting back in the game. And like, again, both teams are fighting for this. Both teams want it. Right now, soondubu is showing up and making sure that they are not out of it yet.
Yeah, and it's 3Z finding a KO, just all the momentum swinging back to soondubu now, although the power play does get stalled out a little bit, and Gromella's flip goes wide, so not found there, but the Firewall Sentry, the secondary from Vice as well, it's so much pressure on Lily Bun and just not enough cooldowns to hold that down. They're going to try to get the core to Scyther in a winning position here, and 3Z is finding himself low. If they can find a KO there, that might be what could turn around this point, but they're still not killing him. And there it is. The hook is always up with that Primetime Kazan, and he's just able to stay alive for long enough to put it into the bottom. And soondubu, despite what happened at the end of that last set, are able to get one back.
Yep, and there Gromella on the MVP. Tail held high, ready to get probably Adrenaline Rush, or perhaps Peak just to deny it. Twin Drive also not looking bad with the Dash Awakening, but yeah, it's an Adrenaline Rush sweep. Today I will get my cooldowns like lowered flat, get a ton of CDR when I get KOs, and KOs are the name of the game. Specialized Training also falling to 3Z Breezy. That's going to be Kazan just dropping insane maddening descents. A little bit of flashy landing from that guy, and it vaporizes health bars. Just this is the soondubu draft. This is how they bring it back. This is everything that they need, and Bun Bun just did not pick up a whole lot. They got Twin Drive Luna. It's going to be really nice. Lily Bun got some stagger to stay alive, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, because right now, like, Liari is in a difficult spot, and it feels like the tables have turned. This is a soondubu controlled game now.
Yeah, but Liari looking like a shooting star, a professor of curvature there. She is able to get the orb back there. This Twin Drive, I think, is going to be a lot of pressure on shapeshifting, kind of like we saw in the last game when they have something that can just punish that weak defense of the Vice. It will be a lot of help for them. But that time, it's Scyther 12 who's just able to win it with the secondary, and somehow the power core from shapeshifting was just a little bit too slow there. That's what happens with Vice like we saw in the last game, and that is the first point here going to Bun Bun, so just 2 away.
Yeah, some fine motion out of Scyther as he is just getting in there. Gromella taking a ton of damage off kickoff, close to getting staggered, and he does. It just soondubu. I said it was a soondubu controlled game. It could go either way. The teams are trading this damage back and forth. If all three members of soondubu aren't healthy and ready to just start KOing, it's a very difficult spot. But soondubu getting the barriers first, that's a massive bonus without even a power play. Getting a lot of damage onto Lilybun as well, and Scyther. This is where they want to be. This is looking good. 3Z almost knocked out, but still alive, and now they have an offense going. Grimilla has the core, looking to get it, but just not quite. And now Bun Bun looking for an offense, but not able to find anything yet. 3Z getting taken low, and all of a sudden, like, this point could go either way. Big supernova, but soondubu's just not able to steal the deal.
Yeah, and the hook from 3Z misses that time. The flip used by Lilybun. If they could find a KO on her, that would be the way. But it is Liari with that twin drive and all the core speed there as we hit overtime is able to make that happen. Lilybun now gets the core to Scyther, although Liari's dash goes wide, and that's going to be curtains for that point. Unfortunately, needed to hit that one, and it'll just leave Lilybun with no options there. So 3Z's able to put it to the bottom, and we're tied up in this set once again.
Yeah, a crazy strike out of 3Z there. Able to get it in. This set is all tied up, and it keeps exploding back and forth either way. soondubu has the barrier advantage right now, and that's a big KO onto Lilybun right here to get the second barrier, get the point. And soondubu they have what they need. They are online. They are fully online. They have the tools. They are navigating this game incredibly well. They just have to seal the deal, and they're potentially 4 points away from doing it, sending us to a game 3. It is still difficult. Obviously, Bun Bun still has a lot going for them, can still mow over the soondubu defense, but it's looking good for soondubu here. They have what they need. They just need to secure it.
Yeah, and just so many interactions are won by Liari and Lilybun there, pushing into the corner, although the flip from Liari does go wide, and it is Grimilla with the slick kicks, trying to push forward, trying to find it, instead turning around and finding the KO and the Adrenaline Rush proc. So Liari not going to be able to get the core there, and it does get away from Lilybun as well. Stepping up with the big finish, trying to go for gold, go for it all here. Liari wins the strike war, but just barely misses the positioning to the bottom there. I'm not sure if it would have scored necessarily, but not found there. So now Scyther is going for a KO on 3Z, and instead he finds a hook right past shapeshifting, barely through the middle, and puts it into the bottom, and we're here to a 0.5 on this set.
Yeah, an insane hook right there, able to bring Bun Bun to series point. If just one more and they can win this game. 3Z with no energy is getting tagged by the triple take, is getting a lot of damage on. Lilybun, though, forced to burn the flip, still loses the barrier, damage coming onto her. It's really scary. soondubu they need to close this out. They need to get to this next set fast. Bun Bun is just looking to seal out the game. You know, I feel like if they don't win this point, it's going to be very difficult to come back from this deficit. And that's a KO onto Lilybun. That's a KO onto Scyther 12, and the Adrenaline Rush proc, the flip, the everything. And soondubu's able to put it in, seal the deal, and bring us to a set 5.
Yeah, no 3v1 miracle that time. They were able to convert the power play just fine there, and they will set us to a 0.5. Obviously, the Luna is not going to win Deadeye, which waited all the way till now to show up. Not going to win Extra Special, most likely, either. We have Prize Fighter as well, which it looks like Lilybun is going to take away. The Extra Special, along with the Timeless going over to Grimilla, it's going to put so much pressure in those corners. It's going to be really difficult for Bun Bun to play defense. And then the Vice will be taking Deadeye, you know, partly for himself, but also to deny that Luna, who will just have to settle for the Spark of Strength. We'll see if Scyther is able to keep these stacks up. I think he, you know, maybe was not quite targeted quite as much as Lily and Liari were in that last set. But the stacks against the comp and the builds that soondubu have, I'm not sure how much they'll be able to stay up. But seems like another great draft for soondubu. And like what they needed to find. But some more Scyther magic, though, does get the goal open early on here.
Yeah, I think soondubu just got everything that they wanted. Masterful draft, especially the Deadeye at the end, the denied, the pickup. It's all going to be very nice. Fight or flight on Kazan. Also, just incredible. This point not looking super favored for them as Scyther gets a great hook, able to put it in. But Lilybun with Prize Fighter, Scyther 12 with stacks, if either of them get KO'd, that's incredibly devastating. That swings the momentum of the set so hard in soondubu's favor, and they're playing to kill them. They've been getting the KOs onto both these players pretty comfortably, pretty easily, and so you have to wonder if a whole lot of power has been obtained by them in this in this set. Meanwhile, like Deadeye Vice, you know, Fight or Flight, Extra Special, all of these awakenings are massive, but it doesn't matter. 2 swift points coming out from Bun Bun, once again returning to series point, 1 away from sealing the deal, and soondubu needs to show up, needs to get these KOs if they want to stay in it.
Yeah, it's the second game in a row we've said soondubu got exactly what they want in the draft. This looks great for them, and somehow Bun Bun is able to find 2 quick points in this set 5 on the homestead stretch here. Almost KO'd is shapeshifting, but there it goes, the first Adrenaline Rush proc of the set for Grimella, and that'll mean no stacks are going away, but it does mean a power play. It does mean the cooldowns and the speed for Grimella, and Scyther just looking to replicate those orbs, get Lilybun some energy, but they weren't able to get that last barrier, and now Lilybun pushing in is almost able to return it, but not quite, but pushing in all herself. Scyther having to come back once again like he has the whole series, but it's Liari dashing ahead, finding the barrier, just 1 point away for Bun Bun, although a lot of damage is being found, a lot of pressure into this corner, and it is Grimella now having the flip, gonna maybe have to use it on this barrier, or maybe try to find a KO. A perfect angle from Grimella, finds it there, although he does get KO'd mid-dash, so we'll see if Scyther and Liari can find it. Shape goes down, the pass up to Scyther, the rocket, Threezy keeps it alive for now, playing some Kazan goalie, although the angle is perfect from Lilybun, and it's the series being found miraculously. In both times it felt like they were so behind, like all the momentum was to the other side, but it is Bun Bun who take this series 2-0.
Yep, a very, very good win out of Bun Bun right there, just kicking on the home stretch haste and sending it all the way in that last set. They're just not taking anything, and you know, doing a great job just dodging danger throughout the entire series. Everything that soondubu is trying to put up is just not able to stick long enough for it to matter, and that means that Bun Bun is looking very, very good going into next week. They have, you know, a nice win. All they have to do, they're going up against Demon's Raw, gonna have to secure a win against them, but I'm pretty sure they're not out even if they lose, so that is the exact spot that it's just a nice spot to be. It is like they get to ease back, say whatever happens next week, we are looking good to secure it in tiebreakers if need be. Like, that's really nice. Meanwhile, soondubu Strikers are going to have to face up against Wee's Little Bees, who took a massive win today. You know, they have been at the bottom of the standings all season, but hey, they've been showing up. They've been proving that they're not a team to be taken lightly, and so soondubu going to have to fight back in this upcoming week, as that's going to be at the end of this series here.
Yeah, and like we said before the game, it's the way things have worked out that not a single team has been eliminated, which I know affects you personally, so I'm sorry to bring that up again. But even with, no matter the result of that game, not a single team is eliminated going into the last week of NASL. Eliminated from playoffs, that is. So just crazy. This makes things even more close because both of these teams are in that 4-4 bracket, which has, I'm not sure how many teams, but at least I think 4 or 5. But yeah, a crazy series there, a crazy day all around, some of the results, some of the games that we had. But we will have a pre-show, I believe, and if you have nothing more, that'll do it for us in this game. So don't go anywhere. We'll have the pre-show, or the post-show rather, with some of our winners here. Thank you for watching, and we'll be right back shortly with that.
And welcome back to the broadcast of the North American Strikers League Season 6. That's right. Wow, it's just like old times. I'm hosting the pre-show, I'm casting, and I'm hosting the post-show. Imagine that actually happened for once. I'm now joined by some of the winners throughout the day today as we conclude Week 8. NXCD, Liari, and Carmine. Liari, I'll go to you first. How's it feel getting that victory over the soondubu Strikers?
It felt wonderful. I was really disappointed with my performance weeks 4, 5, 6. Well, not 6 so much. 7, and we really needed this win today. And I felt like game 1, I played like the craziest Juno game I've ever played. I felt like game 2, I played pretty well too. My team was cracked. We really needed this win to like keep our playoff dreams alive, and getting it against a team that we have so much history playing against, Gramella and 3Z in particular, felt really good and satisfying.
Walk me through this because obviously we've had a variety of shots at the hashtag Brawler patch that was B patched recently. You all decide in game 1 to just lock your pretty much standard tried and true core control composition. What was playing core control like in this very damage centric meta, and why do you think you were able to pull it off?
So we had a realization yesterday that it's kind of just like season 3, where you can play core control, but you just have to piss cap the absolute fuck out of the enemy team. So that's what we did today.
Okay. Very scientific analysis there, Liari.
Yes.
Well done. All right. Well, excellent. All then, from our last match of the day to the first match of the day, NXCD, EKC was able to get the win over Return to Form 2-0 in the I was corrected KO comp instead of damage comp. But it sounded like there was some weird sub situation that led to this roster of players playing today. Walk me through what happened.
Yeah, today we were a damage team. We were in a KO team. We were a damage team. Miri Meg came back after his month-long venture into Mario Kart to come help us out. Thank God he did. He played like a fucking beast today. So obviously big shout out to him. And we kind of just we tried a couple of different things. At first we were kind of just trying to be on like the midfield and kind of playing like what we would usually play on EKC. But it wasn't like working like super well. But we also tried this one Zen Julie comp that we played once in scrims, and it was pretty fun. So we decided to pull it out today on Tycho, and it felt really good once we started like get the prize starter stacks rolling. So I'm really glad we practiced that beforehand because it really worked out for us. And then IME Zap, we love IME Zap. We love everything about that map. So we're kind of just able to put the damage in the bag and go from there.
Feasted something like 25 KOs as a team, or like 27 KOs as a team, or something on the IME's
like
application game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very weak in terms of the composition that you end up playing. And of course, playing to your strengths is always going to be very important. All right, next up, Carmine. It was Wee's Little Bees getting the standings-based upset over PPL 2-1, maintaining that no team is mathematically eliminated for playoffs yet. How's it feel to pick up that victory, and how do you like your odds moving forward?
You know, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just glad that I'm playing with my team. We're having a good time. Don't pick Atlas midfield ever again. Warning to all the NASL midfielders. All good. But I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited for next week.
All right, excellent. Walk me through some of those character picks. You mentioned Atlas midfield. What was going on there? What was the thought process?
Turns out after never practicing it, except for one Oni Village game, does not bode well for your team. My bad. It was Missile Prof. I saw the stars aligning, but turns out you just get killed on repeats. All good. But it was
what about
good.
the Julie goalie?
We don't talk about the Julie goalie. That was an excellent pick. We're not gonna. All good.
I've seen it work before.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
almost
but you
tempted
play
to
with
run on
Soren.
gates.
Yeah, he played really well
True.
that series, I think.
I think Juliet goalie is really good on Tycho, but maybe bad into damage.
There's no way we're taking this seriously.
Hey,
right?
hey.
It was 100% win rate before today.
The defensive capability of Julie cannot go unnoticed.
Okay. Enough of that. I'm told Saya has a clip for us to watch, so apparently we should boot up the screen share. I have no idea what this is about to be. So yeah, Saya, I guess roll it. Whatever it ends up being. Or Saya's not ready.
I'm here.
Oh, let me join the screen share.
Yeah,
My
screen share
PC
is
is
kind of
very
important.
slow and
for this.
laggy, so it's loading.
So production surprise. Whoa.
Holy standings.
Maybe.
Wow.
Okay. Here we are.
I think I know what happens here.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, W Scyther.
You know, I low key get it. Like, I low key get it. You know,
It was hard
sometimes
to
you
see.
just get too excited for the KOs.
Lily Bun screamed after that and was like, "I love you, Scyther 12," and then apologized for yelling.
W Cypher.
W Scyther finding the way to diff the entirety of the soondubu strikers. All good. So, playoffs picture as it stands right now. Hungry Like Nephew has locked in first place. EKC has locked in second place. Those two things we know confidently. NXZD, how's it feel to hear that piece of information?
I'm really happy. I mean, especially like these last couple weeks, we're getting a little like shaky because Katsuna's availability was kind of like a little unknown. So we kind of got a little worried, but now that we've kind of secured this spot, it feels a lot better. Definitely feels more secure. So I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with how we've played so far this season. I think we're going to do a good job in playoffs.
All right, good to hear it. Well, hopefully that does end up being the case. Otherwise, a lot of teams have a lot of scenarios that can lead to, at minimum, tiebreakers. I believe, based on what Achi was saying earlier, there are 5 scenarios remaining out of 32 possible combinations of matches where tiebreakers will not be necessary. So that's right, folks. Start making your plans now that in 2 weeks, we're going to be here in tiebreakers. Of course, Carmine, if we's little bees, have a shot at playoffs, it will be through those tiebreaker matches. How do you think you feel against the teams that you perceive to be right on the bubble?
Could you rephrase your question? My bad.
So you're most likely to have to go through tiebreakers if you were to make it to playoffs. In order to make it through tiebreakers, you would most likely, seems like the most likely opponent for you would be the soondubu Strikers and Bun Bun Bonanza, and potentially PPL as well,
All right,
if you
easy
were
go.
to lock into
Yeah.
that. So do you
No
think you
hug.
could beat all of those teams in 2 weeks?
Yeah, of course. I have absolute faith in me and my team. We're gonna beat every team except for Hug with Kai Noob. Maybe not that team, but all good. We shouldn't worry about it. I don't think they have to play through tiebreakers.
They do not. No, they're already locked. They're all set. All right. Well, Lily Bun, the Bun Bun or Lily Bun.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I'm off my game. I haven't done this in so long. I'm washed. Liari, the Bun Bun Bonanza, is in control of their own destiny with a win in the first series of the day over Demon's Raw. You would not only knock Demon's Raw out of playoffs, but secure your spot in winners as 3rd seed or 4th seed overall. How do you like
crazy.
your odds heading into next week's match?
So I talk so much. I already cursed once, so I won't say it again, but it starts with an S, about Demon's Raw at the beginning of this season. So I think it's a cinematic end. And honestly, like they've gotten better in the past few weeks. I think with Freshen, they look pretty solid, but I think Fudgy like beat me once in NASL on like the worst day of my life. So I think we gap them. I feel really good going in as 3rd or 4th seed into playoffs. I think like honestly, even if Hug had Kai Noob, if we play like we did today, we could beat them. And yeah, I'm really excited. I just want to play next week and get it over with and then start prepping for playoffs.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll be able to make it into playoffs because there are some scenarios where if you lose to Demon's Raw, You will be knocked out completely. No chance of tiebreakers. No chance of anything. There's also a
Crazy.
4-way tiebreaker for 6th place that could potentially happen. In that scenario, it is Demons Raw beating Bun Bun Bonanza, PPL beating EKC, Wee's Little V's beating the Soondubu Strikers, Showtime over the Bozo Bunch, and then Hungry Like Nephew beating Return to Form. I'll go down the list. Give me the percentage chance that that scenario is actually likely to happen. At XD, I'll start with you.
I mean, yeah, these standings are just so like volatile. I feel like a lot of these teams can just kind of randomly win a series over the others. But I'm not really sure. I think it's a toss up. I'm just gonna go. Hey, it happens or it doesn't. It's a 50% chance. You know,
Well, not quite, because it's like 50%
happens
chance
or
for
happens or it doesn't.
32
You know?
scenarios.
Brawler
Yeah.
math. I respect it.
I get what NX is saying.
You know what I mean, right?
Brawler math.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Liare, thoughts?
That was the situation where we're not in playoffs. Right?
No, you are in tiebreak.
Oh, in that situation we're in tiebreak. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some of those matchups seem really difficult to me. I feel like PPL beating EKC is a big question mark. Even like EKC today, even if they have a sub next week, they played really well with their sub. Mary Meg popped off. So like I'll give it like a 3% because stuff happens, but it's really unlikely.
All right. Carmine, this is one of the very few scenarios where Wee's Little Bees can make it happen. How do you like this one?
Rooting for Demons Raw, if you know what I mean. That team has this in the bag. I'm so down to play tiebreakers. I'm praying for Frightfully Fresh, my goat.
There is a scenario still where if Demons Raw win, you all can still make it into a tiebreak. So you all can play with the folding sheet as much as you want between now and next week. Of course, folks, we will be back here next week for the North American Strikers League. But the other upcoming Omega Strikers event that you should be aware of is, of course, the next LAN. It is September 20th and 21st at local host in Denver. It is Reach the Summit. Official announcement and details all coming soon. But of course, you can check out the announcements channel on the Best in Slot Discord server for the Start GG page and secure your registration now. Remember, you can save money by registering early. So folks, with that, that'll do it from us here at Bestie in Slot. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you here next week to finally decide who's going to make playoffs. So we think. Take care.